Welcome back. We have tabulated all of the comments that were submitted for the pay raise discussion, and now we're going to focus on the items where most of you have either experienced discomfort in receiving a pay raise notification or in providing one. So let's start with this. First of all, company guidelines. If you own your own company, please ensure that you have these written out. And this is even if you are a one-person show, okay? Make sure that if anyone were ever to try to sue you or make any sort of claim against you, that you have guidelines that are published that you can refer back to, so that way you could show that you do everything the same for everybody. Make sure there's company guidelines. If you work for a company that doesn't have those, then submit the idea on some form of an official request form. Next, never procrastinate. You need to be on time with these things. This is about respect. Respect for your employee, and if not just do you respect them, but do they feel respected by you? Is their compensation, are their raises important to you? We need to know and understand how they feel about that. So if you're late, well, they're going to think that you don't care or that you're afraid. So they're going to lose respect. So for this one here, make sure that you never procrastinate, which means, now some of you guys are lucky. Some of you guys work for an entity where everyone gets a raise either on October 31st or some type of fiscal year, or maybe the calendar year. Everybody gets a raise in January. But then there's other companies that have a 12-month rolling type of calendar. If that's you, you need to know when the pay raises are due for the people that directly report to you. So if somebody gets a pay raise every July 15th, make sure on June 15th, you're starting to run the checklist, make sure all of the proposals are written out, all the performance review scores are tabulated or calculated, make sure the comp reviews are done, make sure that when you propose the raise, it gets accepted and everything goes on time when payroll gets it. And this is a big one. If you can do this, now I know company guidelines may prohibit it, but if not, and this could be an idea that you guys also submit to your company, separate the performance review meetings from the pay raise meetings. The reason is you can control the aura or the energy and the mood of each of these meetings a lot better. Okay, if somebody has a performance review that they are not happy with, or that they receive, they're not happy with it, you don't want to go from that into a pay raise meeting. Or you don't want to have a pay raise meeting where somebody's unhappy and then roll into a performance review that could be very good, but they're going to think that's insincere. They're just trying to make up for this crummy raise I just received. So try to separate those two meetings. Also, remember that pay raises are not a negotiation item. Okay, they are done via corporate policy. Policies turned into SOPs, and then hopefully you have your guidelines. So that should all be almost an automated procedure, and your employees need to know that. They should not be haggling with you every year for this. Now, as a separate component, if somebody wants an official compensation review, well, then there should be a procedure for that as well. Let's look at the raise that you propose. When you bring up a number, or when you submit a number, I guess, to human resources or payroll, it could be disapproved at a higher level. Always go back and argue the case, at least once. Trust me, you'll sleep better at night. You may just get them to relook at the numbers and agree with you, or even if there is no change, you can sleep at night knowing that you give it every shot that you had to get your employee money that you thought they deserved. That being said, always realize that it could be disapproved and it's out of your hands. So next, don't tell your employees what they're going to be getting beforehand. A lot of times this can open up the door for either arguing for more money, or it can lean into that negotiation phase that we talked about a couple points ago. So wait until there's a company-wide announcement, something that says all employees are going to get a 2.5% raise. Line staff is going to get a 3.5% raise. Leadership is going to get a 2.7% raise, something like that. Next, know what the market rate is for all of the job titles that fall underneath yours. That way you are never going to be surprised or caught off guard by an employee who says, hey, did you know that my position actually pays $25 an hour and I'm only making 21? Well, if you knew that in advance, you could have a response set up where you compare maybe the salary plus the fringe benefits, which is why you need to know those as well. Or maybe they're just incorrect. And you can say, actually, you know what, I thought it was 25 bucks an hour too until I looked into it, and here's what I found. So you can handle it that way. Always have enough knowledge so that way you can respond intelligently and promptly to concerns about salary.